Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Renatus Regional Conference. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Michael Huggins. I'm coming to you from Tennessee. I would love to be with you in person, but you know what? We're having something super special happen in our lives. We're having a new baby any day now, in fact. So with that being my top priority, I'm going to have to zoom in to the regionals. And so as I was thinking about what I could do to have an impact on you and all the attendees at the regionals, well, we decided to put a little video together for you. So one thing is, well, normally we say, everybody put away your cell phones, right? That's how we normally start it out. But in fact, we're going to do something different. If you're open to it, if you're coachable, which I'm assuming you are, I need you to do something with your phone. Now, when you get your phone, don't look at the notifications, the text, the buzzes, the beeps. I know your phone. I know what it's saying right now. It's saying, look at me. Look at me. You need me. Please charge me. Don't let me die. Come and look. Got to check this. Check Facebook. Check TikTok. Check. Blah, 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 blah. You got to remember something. A phone is a tool. You use the phone and not the other way around. So we're going to use it as a little bit of a tool here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take some selfies. I know that sounds funny. And by the end of this training, one of two things is going to happen. You're either going to be confused or you're going to be talking to yourself. So let's go through this. We're going to do 3 selfies. Now, the first selfie you're going to take is you being afraid. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good selfie right there. Really, when you're making your selfie, look pathetic. We'll get into that in a minute. Okay, you got it? Next selfie. I know it sounds funny. You're looking around the room. Everyone's on their phones. Follow the instructions. Follow the instructions. Do I have everyone's attention? Okay, next selfie is your warrior face. Now, your warrior face. Your warrior face is, it's a little silly, and it's a little fun, a little aggressive, still fun, confident, but the warrior. We want to intimidate our enemies, right? So our warrior face, you got to bug your eyes out. You got to stick out your tongue. And then you take a selfie going, ah. Now we'll get that selfie. Oh, that's a great looking warrior face. Okay, well now we got our scared little pathetic face. And we got our warrior face. Now, set your phone aside. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now, what we need to have a discussion about is fear itself. What most people do, typical, average people, will use fear as a warning. And they'll run away from fear. They'll let fear dictate where they go in the opposite direction. But you know, there's some groups of people out there that use fear as a compass. In fact, the thing that frightens them most is the thing that they do the most. Now, isn't that interesting? Who do you think produces more in their life? People who run from fear or people who use fear? Well, what I'm proposing is that we use fear as a compass. And the more that little voice says, don't do it, the more we do it. It says, don't make that phone call. Don't reach out to that person. Don't. And they shrink and hide and want to get away. That's what fear does. So, fear will try to trick you. Fear will even grab that warrior mask and put it on and try to talk to you through that. And so then you shrink and go, oh no. The warrior is telling me not to do it. The warrior is saying this is bad. I shouldn't. But you got tricked again. So what we need to do is stand in the face of fear. Laugh at fear and use it as a compass. It is literally telling us what to do, just in the form of a don't. Imagine that. So now, instead of letting fear dictate what you do from a shrinking standpoint, we let it tell us what to do from a growth standpoint. What do you want to do? You want to shrink or grow? I know what you want to do because you're at the regionals. You want to grow. So how did I use this concept to design my life? Well, when I first got started, it was 2011. I was scared. I was behind on my bills, behind on my promises. I had 2 jobs. I was working full-time, changing oil, and part-time, changing tires. So you know what? By the time I got home, I was dirty. I was gross. I was dirty. I was covered in muck and grime and dust and dirt and oil. I hated it. I was behind on my Even worse than being behind on my bills, I was behind on my promises. There were people that I made commitments to that I could not fulfill because, well, I could not grasp money. I was a hard worker. I showed up on time. I never called in sick. I was like, why is this not working for me? Well, luckily, I found this group called Renatus. And within 3 months of working inside of this platform and doing what the instructors told me to do, I found a deal, got it under contract. But you know what? That little fear voice showed up and it said, you better not try. What if you fail? Who are you to think you could do real estate? You're 21. You're too young. You're too inexperienced. You don't even have a car. You have no money. You have no credit. What if they're all going to laugh at you? All that little fear was trying to just knock me off my game and try to deter me from the direction I was going. But you know what's crazy? Is when you're on that path and you're going in the right direction, fear gets louder and louder. But what we do now that we know this, we laugh. Fear, you can no longer subdue me. In fact, I use you as a compass. In fact, we can use fear as a compass so well that, check it out. I got my own compass right here. It's a gift from my dear friend, Mr. Gary Lawrence. And in here is a little plaque that says, go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you imagined. So what that means is, compass, fear, use it as a direction. Now, I had some big goals, but you know what comes with big goals? It's that funny face fear. Now, when I got started in the Denver office and trying to make Denver become a thing, I was still pretty new to this idea of being a business owner, an investor, a marketer, a CEO, responsibility, all of that. It was 2014. I have been in Renatus for 3 years. And my first year marketing Renatus, I made a whopping $3,000. My next year, I made $28,000. Not bad, but I mean, that's what you get paid at Jiffy Lube. So I wanted more money. I had to break through something called the financial thermostat, which we all have set. Then the next year, I made $54,000. I was like, hey, now we're getting somewhere. And that's about the time I decided I'm going to launch the Denver office. It was quite a challenge. Seriously. I'll just give you the bird's eye view of what happened. But basically, I was already super committed and entrenched in the Salt Lake City's office and their schedule. We had Thursday night meetings, Friday night follow-ups, we had Super Saturday, property tours, house tours, cash flow games, and that whole machine was running, churning. I had a couple hundred people a week going through the office. And I had this bright idea, I'm going to go to Denver now. I talked to Mr. Snyder, and he said, all right, well, there's 2 ways to go about it. There's the easy way and the hard way. One, you got to kind of wait, but leaders will emerge, and then you can support them. The other is you kind of just force it. You force it along, and you just go and go and go until hopefully one day you get a leader to pop up. I thought, okay, I can wait or I could do. It can be easy or it can be hard. I really don't like waiting, but I guess I'll do it the hard way. So the other caveat to this was I could not miss a single meeting in Salt Lake for any Denver meetings. So now I had to be super on top of my schedule. So what we ended up doing is we decided to make the meetings on Tuesday night. So I would leave Salt Lake City Monday at about midnight, and I would drive for 8 hours over the Rocky Mountains, traversing the 14ers, and I would get to Denver in the morning. We'd have breakfast. We would call our leads and confirm them for the meeting that night. We would go get ready for the meeting. We would have it Tuesday night. Wednesday, we would do our morning follow-ups, and then about noon in the afternoon somewhere, we'd get back in the car and drive another 8 hours, nearly 500 miles, back to Salt Lake. So we would be there by Wednesday late night, Thursday morning, and be ready for the Thursday meeting in Salt Lake. Now, we did this for more than 2 years. So that's over 100 times, going back and forth, back and forth. And then Saturdays were back-to-back. So it'd be Super Saturday in Salt Lake, Super Saturday in Denver. Then we'd have an intensive in Salt Lake and an intensive in Denver. Every Saturday was booked. Every day, in fact, was booked. It was a full contact sport, a full-on, full-time schedule to make something big like this happen. My first 6 months in Denver, we put in $100,000. Well, I guess it'd be nearly $200,000 worth of product into the system. $100,000 got paid out to the field. And in those 6 months, I made about $1,000. The $100,000 went to other people's guests, or other people, because I was helping close their guests. It wasn't about till month 7 into Denver when I got my first combo sale. And then the second one, and then the third one. And then the thing started really taking off for me. But it was hard. I was so consistent with the time, though. People thought I lived in Denver. The guests that would come on a weekly basis and see us before they decided to buy, they thought I lived in Denver. A lot of ICMs thought I lived in Denver because I was early and I stayed late. And all they ever saw was me at the meetings. So they thought I lived there. I was committed. I still am committed. Did I mention that if this regional was happening any other weekend that I would be there? Okay. I would. So there was an absolute commitment in my mind. Now, for some of those months as we first got started, I was borrowing money for gas. I could pay for the oil changes, pay for the tires, but the gas, man, that was tough. So I would borrow money from an ICM, or we'd go in on a tank of gas, and we'd get to Denver, and we'd do this thing. And we were on a budget. I was eating peanut butter sandwiches. I was focused, absolutely focused. And my comfort and conveniences came second to the goal. And the goal was get a Denver office up and running, find the leaders, and create an organization that I could sit back and override the commissions for years and years and years. That was the goal. 2014, start. Well, in 2016, we were doing so well, we got our first Denver regionals. Wow, that was incredible. A lot of transformation happened then. And as the years went on, we really got dialed in with our cash flow games. We've done those several hundred times. The property tours, the epics, the Super Saturdays. We have a full-on machine going now. But I never missed a meeting. I didn't miss any Super Saturdays. I didn't miss any weekly meetings. And you know what's crazy? During the winter time, driving from Salt Lake to Denver in blizzards, over 14,000 feet mountains, I was committed. Blizzards couldn't stop me. Closed roads couldn't stop me. Fear, illness, none of that stuff could stop me. We were on point. And you know what? The market responded. We got flooded with sales. So many sales came in. We started having to do monthly meetings in different rooms. We started having breakout rooms and all these other things. We expanded quite a bit. It's a beautiful thing to see. We made millions of dollars out of that office collectively, or the office that's still running right now. You're there, you're doing it. Look around. Those are the people doing it. Along the way, though, a lot of fear tried to deter me. That little voice would come up. It'd put on that warrior mask, in fact, and it'd try to talk through the warrior mask, try to trick me. Trying to say, hey, maybe you could take a week off. Oh, you know what? Those ICMs, they don't want to go this week. So if you have to drive alone, well, it's okay. No one would blame you if you didn't go one week because you had to go alone. But nope, even on those weeks, I'd drive alone. No, it wasn't very often, but I would stick to the plan. Now, Bob Snyder has an easy plan laid out for us. It's at every Super Saturday. It's at the Nationals. It's at the Regionals. It's at the Leaders Retreats. When you show up to these things and the plan comes out, you go, oh, I can do that. We also have to consider that people have other plans for you. If you have a job, if there's a boss involved and they got other plans, well, are those plans going to lead you in the direction of your dreams or in the direction of their dreams? Now, this is what's a beautiful thing about working with Bob Snyder in this organization. His dream is that our dreams come true. So, if we help him get his dream, then our dreams happen. It's a beautiful thing. So we can use that energy and push through all kinds of fear. Whenever that little voice comes up, that little pathetic face comes up and says, don't make that call. Don't talk to that person. What if, what if, what if? No, we got to put on our warrior face. Make it real. Bend the universe to your will, to your vision, to what you want to see happen. So folks, as we look around and we see that it wasn't just a one-man show, like I said, there were a lot of people who showed up to help make this thing happen. I want to acknowledge several people. Esther Hahn, oh, what an amazing woman. Julie, amazing. Anna and Diana, I love them. Mr. Michael White. There's so many people in the Denver market that are making this beautiful thing happen. I want to give a big thanks to Bobby T for always putting in extra time and effort helping the Denver team off and running. Scott Rose come out several times. And, this is definitely a collective effort. But if I had let fear dictate, driving alone in the middle of the night, 500 miles, one way. That's 1,000 miles a week. Oh my goodness. Expense. What are people going to say? What if I get a flat tire? What if? If I played into all that fear, the room you're in would be empty right now. There might be some Denver students, but there wouldn't be this collective, this community in Denver. So what I'm trying to emphasize here is that your action, in spite of fear, will have such a big ripple effect on other people's lives that it absolutely justifies taking the action. I have 2 wristbands right here that I haven't taken off for years and years and years. There's a theme on these. First one says, elevate your responsibility. The second one says, I am 100% responsible. I am a leader. You know where I got that from? Mr. Snyder. That guy is all the way responsible. He responds. He doesn't react. He responds. He's such a great demonstration of responsibility in taking care of others, and I wanted to emulate that. And the best way I knew how back then was let's start a new office. I also want to give a big shout out to Richard Stock for always supporting us in what we do. I learned a ton from him. That guy was a game changer. That guy acts in spite of fear too. So you might be sitting at the mall or sitting at the grocery store, you're looking around and you see someone and that little voice comes in and says, go talk to him. This is perfect. Go ask him an opener. Go tell him what you do. Give him a business card. You get inspired by that little voice? Act. Action. Action. That's what's going to change the game. That's what's going to make the office triplicate. I don't know if that's a word, but you know what I'm saying. We want to expand where we can't fit in the office. Well, now that you understand a little bit more about where we came from, why we're doing what we're doing, I have a foolproof plan. If you execute on it, we'll push away the fear and create something you've always wanted to create. Are you ready? You're not going to like it. Talk to more people. Talk to more people. Talk to more people. Talk to more people. Do you know what you should do to eliminate your fear? Talk to more people. 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 And now that we've discussed the tactic, the strategy of talking to more people, I know you might be asking, but how, Michael? Sounds easy, talk to more people, but how? And let me assure you, before we get into the how, that what I am saying, in fact, absolutely, positively, indubitably, without a doubt, will work. Now, what are all these right here? These are grand champion trophies. Grand champion trophies for making sales in Renatus. You know I did it. I bet you can guess now. I talk to people. I talk to people. Now, I know you're going to go to lunch or dinner, depending on where you're at watching this video. But when you step outside onto the street, take a look to the left. Take a look to the right. People! In fact, you're in one of them fancy there cities. You probably have seen 20 people by the time you step out of that door. So what I'm saying is, you don't need fancy gizmos and gadgets and systems and programs and software to do what we're doing. Talk to more people. When you go to lunch, talk to people. When you go to dinner, talk to people. When you cash out at the convenience store, talk to people. Grocery store, talk to people. You can be intention and on purpose about talking to more people. When you go to Lowe's and Home Depot, talk to more people. Everywhere you go, talk to more people. And then get yourself in rooms with people. Here's a couple places that I put myself in so I'd find more people. Toastmasters, Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club. There's a couple more I'm going to be looking at too. But the point is you got to talk to more people or nothing's going to change. You want change? Who wants change? Well, in fact, we all want change, but how many want to change? This is what we're proposing here. Make that change and talk to more people. Quite often when we do our Super Saturdays and we're talking about finding people and telling the story and building for events and following up, I ask people, How many contacts are in your phone? Some people, I'm amazed. 100, 200, 300 contacts in their phone? Wow. Well, if you are in the space of networking and you want to find more people so that you can tell a story, build for events, and follow up, you gotta put some people in your contacts. 5,058 are in my phone. Do you know why? Because when I talk to people, I ask them for their phone number and if we can stay in touch, and then I send them reminders about the amazing things Renatus has. Nationals, regionals, leaders retreats, intensives, workshops, live streams. Oh man, there's so much out there. But you gotta talk to more people. The system flat out works. Look at this. Look at this. Back to back to back years of trophies? Come on. This flat out works. Thank you, Scott and Richard, by the way, for being amazing mentors and telling me how to talk to more people, because by golly, you guys do it too. You talk and you talk and you talk to more people. Now, some of you might be saying, but Michael, the people I talk to aren't interested, so I don't have fun talking to them. Well, that's okay. You'll have fun. You'll figure it out. But the point is, if they're not interested, that's where our role comes in. That's where our opportunity and responsibility comes in. If someone's not interested in real estate, it's simply because they don't know what real estate can do for them. What kind of lifestyle can benefit them if they get into real estate? And so when I hear people saying, oh, I'm not interested, I don't take that as they're not a candidate for my program anymore. No. I take that as, you haven't heard? You haven't heard how real estate can help you? Well, come over here and let me show you. We got our ideal income deductions, equity, appreciation, and leverage. Just think about that. So talk to more people, whether they're interested or not. Like I said, if they're not interested, they don't know what real estate can do for them. They don't know about all the benefits. So it's your opportunity to educate and invite so that they can start getting the benefits of real estate that we're currently getting. So there are countless ways of finding leads, finding people for free. You go to home shows, man, we've done a lot of home shows, expo centers and all kinds of things there, realtor conventions, all kinds of other gatherings. The glamping expo that happens in Colorado, I mean, that's a big deal. You got to go to those things. People are there. In fact, I've had people just go on Zillow, pull up realtors in their area and just start making phone calls saying, hey, have you thought about being an investor? Thought about being an investor? Thought about being an investor? Come to the meeting, come to the meeting, come to the meeting. Well, you could say those 2 lines. So get creative, stay compliant, but get creative. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. In fact, if it required spending a lot of money to do it, I wouldn't have been able to do it. I was eating 1 meal a day. I was riding my bike to these jobs that I had and hiding my bike in the bushes next to the building so no one knew I was riding a bike there. I got there first and tell people I got dropped off or whatever. I was too embarrassed about my situation. But no longer do I let embarrassment stop me. In fact, as you can tell by this amazing video. And now, the last big piece I want to talk about today is an attitude of gratitude. You know, when I was working at those jobs and eating 1 meal a day and bumping my head and burning my fingers and getting behind on my bills, being embarrassed about my situation, I still could find gratitude in that. And I think that's one reason why things changed for me so quickly, because I was continuing to express my gratitude. Even though life wasn't doing what I wanted it to do, I could still be grateful and find things for that. One of the major things I'm grateful for is Mr. Bob Snyder's vision, who he's being, how he sees the world and what he wants in the world. And he's one of those people that doesn't just talk about it, but he is being it. He is being the change that he wishes to see in the world. And so for that example to me, I am super grateful. I'm grateful for the introductions to all the amazing investors and business owners he's helped me to create connections with. And even more so, I was looking back before today's training, and I pulled up my commission history. In the last 36 months, 3 years, 2.5 have been in the Pandy, Bob Snyder has paid me more than $1 million. More than $1 million in the last 3 years. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's so much to be grateful for. One of the big things I get to do with that money is I get to be a stay-at-home dad, which is what my main goal was when I first got into Renatus. People are like, what do you want to do? Yeah, I want to pay off my bills. What do you want to do? I want to quit my job. Okay, but what do I really, really want to do? I want to be a stay-at-home dad. I never got to meet my dad. My wife wasn't raised with her dad either, and we wanted to end that cycle with our family. So now I get to do that. I put in the time, I put in the energy, I face the fear. Speaking of fear, when that little voice comes in and says, oh, don't do that, you got to remember, it's that pathetic, silly, small little face trying to talk. You can pull it out, in fact. Get that picture out and look at it. Oh my goodness, look at that pathetic little goofball trying to talk you out of your dreams, your visions, your goals. Take a swipe, find your warrior face. Put on your warrior face. Make a difference. Go out there and face your fear. That is how we conquer fear, is by facing it. So face everything and rise. That's what fear really means. Face everything and rise. Look at it. Don't run away from it. Lean into it. In fact, use it as that compass, that direction. Go for it. If I could do it, you could do it. And now, you know what? After this conversation, I feel lighter. I feel like we've transitioned, like there's been some transformation happening as we've been talking, and, I kind of feel like a new man. So, be the change you wish to see in the world. Use this as a transformative opportunity. Don't sit back and live a life by default, but design your life. Do something you're proud of. Face your fear, chase your dreams. This is Michael Huggins signing off, saying thank you for listening, and I hope to see you soon. Bye, everybody.